Well, next project. Just dragged this home. It's a 2011 Dodge Charger RT. It's the all-wheel drive Hemi. It's hideous. That's why I bought it. It's one of the reasons I wanted to rescue it. It's gonna need a lot of rescuing though. This it has a 6.4 swap in it, so a lot to talk about. But let's just have a look at the car, see what I got. Wanted to get some video real quick while it's still on the trailer before I roll it into my garage. Just started snowing out here. It's a beautiful day in New England. So let's get the camera turned around and see a little bit about what we got here, and then get it in the garage and get warm. So this is it. I saw this on Facebook Marketplace. It's been on there for a while. Not sure how long. I think all the custom red stuff really scared people away, and the fact that the engine is likely junk. But there's a lot going for it at the same time. So I'm actually excited. I liked how ugly it is. Sorry to the guy who made it this way, but to each his own. To me, it's ugly. I know you liked it, but I'm excited to take all this off. So all this vinyl, I want to get rid of all that, bring it back to being black. But there are things going for it. He's got, I think he said these were like 2015 headlights. It's got nice headlights in it. The hood needs to also have that vinyl taken off. That's a my opinion thing. This plastic dip on the wheels, but the wheels are junk anyways. Maybe not totally junk, but the other side they are. It's got a red spoiler. I want that to be black again. I guess that wheel's not too bad. This one's pretty chewed up. Here. Yeah, those are gouges. Fender, all the clear coat's missing off of it. He said it was a replacement fender. Really kind of needs a paint job. I haven't painted a car in a little while, so I'm thinking about doing that just for fun. But definitely get rid of all the red. All right, so that's one step. Another thing to show about it. So it's a 2011. What I like about 2011s and up is you get the modern interior. So 2011 up, you get the 8.4 inch screen, you get the more modern styling, which to me is everything. I don't really care for the boxy 2010 below Chargers, 300s, Challengers even. Another nice thing is he upgraded the instrument cluster. So this is all digital, all LCD screen, really nice. There is some things I'll have to do about that, but it does work. Let's see, I'll get the hood open. Does not run. He said something about lost oil pressure and mentioned number 8 cylinder. Mentioned something about the number 8 cylinder, bend in the spark plugs. I honestly bought it with a junk engine, is how I approached it. So I didn't really care all that much about what was going on here. But it is a 6.4. So that's upgraded. I don't know if I'm going to put a 6.4 back in it, or if I'm just going to put the 5.7 back in it. Some other weird stuff is that he says it had a 6.4 tune in the PCM, but he's already reflashed that back to a 5.7, like preparing for the next guy. Couldn't really understand why he said he did that. You can see all the coil packs are just sitting here. I don't know a lot about how to tell the difference between a 6.4 and a 5.7. I do know it's a 6.4 intake because you got the angled throttle body. This is straight on a 5.7, and I think maybe a 6.1. But aside from that, there is a sticker down here with a barcode on it. I can't quite make out what it says, but I do know that that sticker, at least if the valve cover is from a 6.4, will actually say 6.4 on it, but doesn't really much matter. I believe him. He said it was out of an SRT 8. Got the car pretty cheap anyway, so it doesn't really make a big difference. But yeah, I plan on swapping the engine or rebuilding the engine, something. But all in all, the body's not bad. Could be a fun car to play with. And like I said, the main reason I wanted it is because I wanted to get rid of all the red and make it look nice, in my opinion, again. So let's get this thing off the trailer. It is freezing out here. Get it in the garage, see what we have to work with, and see if I can figure out what's going on with the engine. Probably gonna yank it. Oh, it also has long tube headers. Might as well show you while it's on the trailer, it's easier. Long tube headers and catless mid pipes, which kind of sucks because it's gonna need cats. And I don't know if I'm gonna keep the headers or not either. I don't even know who they're made by. I prefer shorty headers and to keep the cats, because I like to be able to get my stuff inspected. But we'll see. I don't know what I'm gonna do with this car yet. Let's get it in the garage. All right, so we got the car in its probably near-term home. It's gonna be here for a while. I'm gonna be, just spending some time getting rid of all the red, cleaning it up. I started peeling off the plastic coat on this wheel, just messing around, killing time really, while I was trying to get some heat going in here and install a pellet stove and different project. But anyways, I did get the engine to spin. It doesn't turn over all the way. I had a breaker bar on the crank down here. I did find that the alternator is seized up. I don't know if it's like really seized or just kind of stuck, but I took the belt off, was able to spin it, but not all the way. So there is a valve or something wrong. Found some really, really interesting stuff with the spark plugs. So he'd already removed like one spark plug per cylinder. I'm trying to get so you can really see this, but I want to show you. It's hard for me to get a clear picture of that without shaking too much. But the every single spark plug is gapped like off center, like they're really weird. See how it's like bent too? And then there was one, number 8 cylinder had one plug in it that was kind of smashed. This one you can really see. But every single one of them is like cocked over. But number 8 are the only ones that were actually like really hit. And this one you can see some weird stuff here. I don't know what the hell is going on. The engine turning it back and forth, it feels tight. I'm not noticing like any sort of rod kind of flopping or anything. I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to pull the heads off the car. Or I'm going to start by pulling the valve covers and see what's going on under there. But I'm going to pull also the intake, this whole back section here, pull all that off, and see what's going on underneath there and go from there. Well, I've started taking stuff apart just because, for one, even though I've already decided I'm yanking the engine, I still wanted to inspect it a little bit. It's kind of easy to do. Get a little pile of parts going. But I did find something. I don't know what I found, but I found something broken. In the number 8, for one, this engine's been running like shit forever, judging by the intake ports. But in here, see if I can get you in there. We have a chunk of something. I don't know what that's a piece of. So, it kind of looks like it could be piston material, which would be weird. I don't really know why, but that's why I'm yanking the engine out. There was nothing weird up here. All the valves, you know, looks like they're coming all the way back up. Nothing. I mean, that one, the exhaust valve is open, so I don't really know. I haven't tried turning it over at all. But yeah, I mean, look, it's spotless in here too. So like I said, this is a low mileage engine. It'd have to be to look like this. Well, I've got the head off and I've made some discoveries. Let's start with the big one. It's missing a cylinder. I don't know what in the world could have done that, but that piston is shattered and the majority of it is in the oil pan. I've never seen anything like that before. The rest of the cylinders all seem fine. Unfortunately, there are some pretty good marks in the cylinder walls. I initially thought that there wasn't, which would have been really weird, but there definitely is right there. So this block's probably junk. I don't think that can be bored out. I think those are too deep, but we'll see. But anyways, let's carry on with my investigation here. So the head actually isn't that bad. It would need a new valve. I think it literally is just, let's see if I can get some better light. I think it literally is just that valve. I don't think there's any other damage to be worried about here, which is pretty odd. I don't know what would have caused this. Something had to have been dropped in there. Rest of the valves all look good. So I probably have a good set of heads, at least. These are 6.4 heads, because I was wondering about that. These numbers are for 6.4. Then I made another interesting discovery. So this, you can't hardly see them with all my tools in the way, but they're MDS valves, or solenoids, are in this engine. I just pulled all of the lifters, and what's interesting is these are all non-MDS lifters. MDS lifters have oiler holes in them, and there should be 2 per rack. I'm gonna grab one so I can show you in case you don't already know. Just went and grabbed a rack of lifters from the 300 that I just got done fixing up. And you see these are MDS lifters. So there's clearly a huge oil hole in them. And none of these are MDS. None of them have the oil holes in them. Check both sides, nothing. I don't know what kind of problem you'll have by still sending the MDS oiler system into non-MDS lifters. I have no idea. The way it's supposed to work is that probably get this kind of wrong, but this lifter is basically allowed to collapse so that you're not opening and shutting these valves. But what I can't remember is it's either when there's oil pressure to these that they pump up, or it's oil pressure to them that deactivates them. I almost think that they get deactivated when there's actually oil pressure to them, which sounds backwards, but either way, oil from those solenoid valves activates and deactivates these lifters. And so if you had ones that don't have that, and you just sent oil to them, I don't know that it's going to cause any problem. It's just really odd to do that. So I probably need a new engine. Almost definitely need a new engine. Whether I go with the 6.4 392 or a 5.7, I don't know. Now, the guy I bought this car from, he said that he's already reflashed the PCM back to a 5.7. Said he was, I think, getting it ready for the next guy. I thought that was weird. Like, you put a 6.4 in it, why wouldn't you just leave the 6.4 tune in the PCM? But I don't know. So that's also questionable. Regardless of which engine I put in, I'm probably going to want to flash the PCM just to be sure that I know what's in there. Yeah, I don't know. But I'm going to finish yanking this engine out, figure out what I'm going to do. While I'm looking around for a new engine or new parts, I will go around and I will de-uglify it, get rid of all the red, take all the plastic coat off the wheels. I've already started doing that a little bit. Doesn't come off as easy as I had hoped, but it does come off. Not sure if warming it up might make it easier. Yeah, but luckily, like I said, I bought this car for very little money. Paid $1,800 for it. So I don't mind, if I have to put a new engine in it. I bought it with the intention of changing out the engine. But you always hope, Sometimes you get lucky. I really wanted to keep the 392. I'm still going to search around a little bit, but I'm not spending, $5,000-$6,000 on a 392 for this car. The other issue is that even if this engine was repairable, if that cylinder wall wasn't damaged, standard pistons, like just regular cast pistons for this, are like impossible to get. And aside from that, you can go forged, but now you're talking like $1,900 just for pistons and rods. Being an all-wheel drive car, the drivetrain can only handle so much power anyways, so dropping that kind of money to make this a forged internal engine just doesn't make a ton of sense unless you're going to make over 700 horsepower. And if you're going to make over 700 horsepower, well, you put it in the wrong car because the drivetrain can't handle that. So then you, snowball effect, end up building up the drivetrain to handle it, and I'm not really looking for a complete monster car like that. I do want some power. I would love, 500 horsepower or so at the engine would be fine. But, yeah, I'm going to yank the engine out the rest of the way, figure out what I'm going to do, and if anybody's interested, I'll probably make a video on the de-uglification. So, thanks for watching.